Jesse Metcalfe is a guy of many talents. He's an American actor and musician. He even played in several basketball leagues during his teen years in Connecticut, where he graduated high school. He went to the New York University but eventually dropped out because he booked the part of Miguel Lopez Fitzgerald on the soap opera Passions, and this began his illustrious acting career. He appeared as John Rowland on Desperate Housewives, played the title role in John Tucker Must Die, starred as Christopher Ewing in the TNT continuation of Dallas, and most notably from 2016 to 2021, he starred as Trace Riley in Hallmark Channel's hit series Chesapeake Shores. Now, to get familiar with some of his other works with Hallmark, we made a list of Jesse Metcalfe's best Hallmark movies to watch in 2021 for you, so here's our list. Number 10. Fairfield Road. To participate in a dream gig in Washington, D.C., Noah McManus is planning to leave his job. Unfortunately, he finds out that he can no longer be employed in Washington, D.C. Number 9. Christmas Under the Stars. Christmas Under the Stars, starring Jesse Metcalfe, Autumn Reeser, and Clark Peters, was the next installment in Hallmark's acclaimed Countdown to Christmas television movie series in 2019. Christmas Under the Stars was filmed entirely in Canada. The video was tagged with the location of Langley, British Columbia.
Do you know any Christmas carols? Because when we decorate, we sing.
Well, lucky for you, I happen to be an expert Christmas caroler.
Number 8. Chesapeake Shores. Despite being from Chesapeake Shores, Abby O'Brien has managed to make her way to the big metropolis of New York, where she now resides as a successful career lady. When the divorced mother of twins returns home, she's confronted with individuals from her past, including her high school boyfriend Trace, her unyielding father Mick, and her venerable grandma Nell, who she has never seen before. Abby's reflection on her background, along with the awareness of her professional obligations are interfering with her ability to be a hands-on mother to her girls, causes her to contemplate relocating permanently to Chesapeake Shores, which she ultimately does in the summer of 2011.
Okay, break is over for the cast and director. Hi, Trace?
Hey, Abby.
Going into the Chesapeake Shores Season 5, everyone is definitely wondering who Abby, played by Megan Ory, will select. Is it Evan, played by Robert Buckley? Jay, played by Grayston Holt? Or neither? That Old Feeling addresses this directly, but not in the way that fans may assume. Evan realizes he wants to ask Abby out, and chooses to make the grandest of gestures by picking her up from the airport. When they stop for lunch, he invites her out on a full-on date. She's leaning towards keeping things professional, but he persuades her to reconsider. She reveals to her sister Bree that she's confused. He irritates her and drives her insane. Yet she may be fascinated, and he surely wins her over by bringing dairy-free brownies for her daughter.
I'm leaving Chesapeake Shores.
Please don't do this on account of me.
I was staying here on account of you. With you and the girls on the beach tomorrow.
I don't think it's a good idea.
It's a school activity, not a date.
Number 7. Christmas Next Door. Eric Randall, an author of bachelor lifestyle books, is left in charge of his young niece and nephew for the holidays. Unsure of himself, Eric turns to his neighbor April, a lover of all things Christmas, for help. Number 6. A Beautiful Place to Die. A Martha's Vineyard mystery. Jeff Jackson, a former investigator who was pushed into early retirement, returns to a tranquil life on Martha's Vineyard after being compelled to do so. He'll be quiet, at least until a body washes up on the shore and he's lured back into the world of crime fighting.
I was. Early retirement.
Why is that?
Missed fishing on the vineyard.
Oh yeah? Is that how you hurt your back, fishing on the vineyard?
Number 5. Riddled with Deceit. A Martha's Vineyard mystery. The second installment of the Martha's Vineyard mystery series, Riddled with Deceit, is an excellent read. Britt Prina, a friend of Dr. Z. Medeiros, takes center stage in the current film, or rather a long-lost family treasure does, in the latest film. An exquisite brooch worth $5 million, the Lakshmi Emeralds, has been brought to the vineyard after being withdrawn from a Boston auction house where it was scheduled to be sold. Britt intends to display them in her own Pendray hotel, and she has invited the town's elite to attend, but calamity strikes before she can get started. Britt's home is assaulted, her brooch is taken, and someone is killed before a full day has elapsed. In this episode, Jeff Jackson, played by Jesse Metcalfe, a former Boston investigator, is called upon to aid in the Vineyard Police Department with their investigation. but this time it's personal, and he is just as concerned with protecting Z and Britt as he is with solving the theft and murder of Britt's mother. Instead of blaming the crimes on a century-old curse on the emeralds, Jeff blames them on plain greed, narrowing the suspects down to a small group of people who would go to any length to get their hands on the valuable stones in question. He becomes intrigued by a couple of strangers from Boston. When the jewels were withdrawn from the auction and returned to their rightful owner, Victor Gaines, the owner of the eponymous auction house, as well as Freddie and Regina Fields, the couple who initially recovered the brooch, all missed out on a large sum of money in the process.
The one I saw you shaking hands with at the gala?
Okay, Ed.
Ray Norris is the son of Donna Norris, formerly Donna Lawson. Name ring a bell?
Now that we've reached the halfway point, be sure to press the subscribe button so that you can see new videos every week. Number 4. Ships in the Night. The film Ships in the Night demonstrates that the third time is not always the charm in life. However, part of the storyline in the newest Martha's Vineyard mystery, which involves another fascinating case for retired detective Jeff Jackson, played by Jesse Metcalfe, and Dr. Z Medeiros, played by Sarah Lind, drags down the whole effort. It's not the worst example of sloppy narrative, and I still prefer it to most other series, but after the first couple of installments, I was expecting something a little tighter. On the eve of a fundraiser regatta, Jeff and Z are confronted with the deaths of two members of the community. The character of Eli, played by Fred Keating, a doctor and Z's mentor, is thrown out of a window by someone who looks to be interested in his homemade portable dialysis equipment, which he has been working on. Bernie, the manager of the Winchester Art Gallery, gets beaten with a sailboat sculpture throughout town in the first act. It is yet unknown whether or not the instances are linked. In any event, it's possible that 2 deaths are too many, especially considering that no one notices Eli's demise until late in the second act. It takes Jeff and Z more than 2/3 of the movie to figure out who murdered Bernie.
You can tell me what's going on?
We're consulting for the police on a homicide. Looks like one of your sculptures was used to commit a murder.
That's horrifying.
Number 3. Poisoned in Paradise, a Martha's Vineyard mystery. In this 4th edition of the Martha's Vineyard mystery series, retired police detective Jeff Jackson, played by Jesse Metcalfe, and Dr. Z Medeiros, played by Sarah Lind, find themselves engaged in yet another island murder. The series suffers a slight lull, but is buoyed by the appearance of Lind, who happens to be one of my favorite Hallmark actresses, and who unfortunately only appears in 1 episode. Neither detective nor anybody in their local vicinity is directly involved in this case, and as a result the plot lacks the personal touch we have come to expect from the other films. In reality, Jeff's only interaction with the deceased occurs immediately before she passes away from natural causes. Katie Leonard, an anxious young woman, approaches him with an unknown problem, and he, feeling that she's about to land herself in serious legal problems, encourages her to contact the police. She never makes it to her destination and instead ends up dead on the side of the highway. Jeff, who feels bad about blowing her off, joins the inquiry with Chief Medeiros, who is also feeling awful. When they discover that Katie died not from an accident, but from a heart attack caused by poisoning, they immediately suspect foul play.
Oh no.
It's Katie.
Number 2. American Dreamer, a Martha's Vineyard mystery. When a local waitress is discovered murdered on the beach, and a mystery transaction arrives in Z's bank account, Martha's Vineyard proves to be everything but the peaceful, picturesque existence Jeff Jackson was expecting. This episode lacks a bit of passion and grit of earlier movies, but it should still be interesting for fans of the franchise. Number 1. A Country Wedding. Country singer Bradley is about to marry the actress Catherine, but before the wedding, Bradley turns to his hometown to sell the house in which he grew up. There, he reconnects with Sarah, his childhood sweetheart, and sparks begin to fly again. What movie did you like best? What movie was missing on our list for you? Tell us in the comments. For our biggest fans, consider becoming a member for bonus perks and access. Don't forget to check out the merch store for the perfect binge-watching apparel. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We put out new videos like this one every week. We'll see you for our next video. Thanks for watching.